Whispers of the Amazon. Dense mist curled between towering mahogany trees as sunlight pierced the emerald canopy, painting the forest floor with golden speckles. Birds chattered and unseen insects hummed a living symphony deep within the Amazon rainforest. For as long as he could remember, Mateo, a young biologist from Manaus, had dreamt of venturing into the uncharted heart of the jungle. When the opportunity finally arrived, a research expedition funded to study rare medicinal plants, he embraced it without hesitation. Armed with a backpack, notebook, and boundless curiosity, Mateo trekked deeper with his local guide, Luana, a woman whose family had lived alongside the rainforest for generations. Her every step seemed effortless, as if the jungle itself welcomed her. On the third day, they stumbled upon something unexpected, a clearing so still it felt outside of time. In its center grew a single colossal tree whose bark shimmered silver under the filtered sunlight. "This is the Uraka," Luana whispered, awe in her voice. "My grandmother spoke of it, a spirit tree. It's said to appear only to those who truly listen to the forest." Mateo stepped closer, noticing strange, ancient markings spiraling around the trunk. He reached out and pressed his palm against the bark. For a fleeting moment, he felt a vibration, a pulse, as if the tree itself was alive, breathing, sharing its secrets. That night, as they camped near the clearing, Mateo couldn't sleep. The sounds of the jungle felt different, softer, almost like voices murmuring on the breeze. He dreamed of the tree, its roots glowing beneath the earth, spreading stories of ages long past. The next morning, Luana found him sitting beside the tree, sketching the symbols. "The forest speaks to you now," she said gently. They collected samples of leaves and soil, and before leaving, Mateo placed his hand once more on the trunk, silently thanking the forest for its gift. As they made their way back through the labyrinth of vines and mist, the rainforest no longer felt like an untamed wilderness. To Mateo, it felt like a living, breathing storyteller, one that revealed its secrets only to those willing to listen. Years later, as Mateo shared tales of the Amazon with students and scientists, he always spoke of the Uraka, a reminder that the greatest discoveries often come not from seeking to conquer nature, but from humbly becoming part of its story. If you'd like, I can continue this into a longer adventure, add more characters, or add elements of mystery, danger, or fantasy. Would you like me to? Herb sparkles. Days turned into weeks as Mateo and Luana pressed deeper into the rainforest, following faint trails and river bends few dared to map. The memory of the Uraka tree stayed with them, its silver bark and ancient symbols haunted Mateo's sketches and dreams. One humid afternoon, as a curtain of rain fell, Luana paused on a narrow trail, her gaze fixed on a vine-covered rock wall. "This place," she murmured, "my grandmother called it Kaminho Oculto, the hidden path. Few ever find it." The mossy rock seemed ordinary at first, but under Luana's careful hands, the vines shifted to reveal a narrow passage. Beyond lay a sunken path, lined by stones etched with markings similar to those on the Uraka. A strange silence cloaked the trail, the ever-present hum of insects and birds faded, replaced by the hush of ancient secrecy. They followed the path until it ended at a small pool of still, dark water. In its center, rising from the depths, stood another tree, shorter, twisted, its roots dipping into the pool. Symbols wound around its trunk, older and sharper than before. Mateo felt a chill run through him. "What is this place?" Luana shook her head. "I've only heard stories. They say it is where the forest remembers everything, every spirit, every broken promise, every lost soul." That night, they camped nearby. The fire flickered, casting long shadows that danced across the trees. Mateo found sleep impossible. His mind replayed the discovery, the markings, and the odd silence that had embraced them. Suddenly, Luana sat up, her face pale. "Did you hear that?" Mateo listened. At first, nothing but the rustling leaves, but then, faint and sorrowful, came the sound of weeping, echoing from the direction of the pool. They rose and crept closer. The moonlight shimmered on the water's surface, and there, just beyond the reflection, Mateo glimpsed a figure, a woman with long, tangled hair, her face hidden as she wept silently at the water's edge. Luana grabbed his arm. "We must go," she whispered urgently. "That is the Encantada, a spirit bound to the hidden path. She guards its secrets, and those who watch too long may never leave." They backed away, hearts pounding, and returned to the safety of their camp. But Mateo's mind raced. Who was she? What secrets did she guard? And why had the forest chosen to show them this hidden place? The next morning, Luana insisted they move on, but Mateo couldn't let go of what he'd seen. His sketches grew darker, filled with shapes of the weeping spirit and twisted roots spiraling into darkness. As they journeyed back toward civilization, Mateo vowed silently to return. The Amazon had opened a door, one that beckoned him deeper. He knew the forest still held secrets untouched by time, waiting for those brave, or foolish, enough to listen. And somewhere, in the shadows of the rainforest, the Encantada waited too. If you'd like, we can continue with part 3. Mateo returns to the forest alone, or perhaps bring in new characters and uncover the origin of the Encantada. Shall we keep going? Herb sparkles.